I think majority of people are out here trying to date when they're still emotionally immature. You got to
What?
have substance to you in order for y'all to grow and progress and end up somewhere. If if you have the mentality, oh, he said the wrong thing to me, fuck this nigga, I ain't woo woo woo, or like just any circumstance where communication isn't y'all go-to key to success, you got a problem.
What is the probability of that 5150 reunion?
Uh, it's possible, but yeah,
Let's go ahead and hop straight into it. You know what I'm saying? Time is money. For one, I appreciate it, man. I would consider myself, you know what I'm saying, a huge fan. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your voice of reason in any realm you're attached to, and anyone of like, you know what I'm saying, I pretty much cling to. But let's go ahead and hop straight into it. Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The place is here. The time is now. You are tuned into the lunch table. You got your boy Savo in the building. I have a special guest in the building as well. This is a man that I truly respect and revere in my own right, man. I believe that the world and more of the masses should hear just his dialect, his intellect, and just what he has to say. He is a huge part, I would say one half of mainstream podcast. Shout out to Marcus, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to
Yes,
the fam.
sir.
But at this moment, for the people that may be living under a rock so far and don't know who you are, can you please introduce yourself for the people, sir?
Well, man, I can't do no better than you just did. I'm free game Chad, stand-up comedian, stylist, image consultant. I do my thing on social media. I'm just me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna tap into that. Let's go ahead and get this going, bro. I appreciate it for once again. But we're gonna do same format as my interviews, and we're gonna get it going for one. Can we start with your background and your upbringing? You can be as brief or as broad as you want.
Uh, Background. So from Camden, Arkansas, raised in Little Rock. My parents were heavy in the dope game, so I got a lot of my perspectives and outlook on life. Just from watching their journey. When they got caught up and went to the feds, I had to go stay with my grandma. My grandpa, he was a preacher, so I got that duality of both of those perspectives, logic, and reasoning. Um, I'm one of what you call a unicorn. I went to prison and college. They say black men normally do one or the other. I did both. So man, I'm just a pretty well-rounded individual. Been through a lot. Try not to wear it on my face, and that's what it is.
Just quick digress question, not for nothing, man. Which setting did you learn more that really resonated and added benefit to your actual life and how you live, college or prison?
I mean, it's two very very different forms of information. So just how to work with such a wide variety of mentalities and emotions. You gonna get so much of that from prison, just trying to survive that very negative environment. I was known as the guy who always had everybody laughing,
Yes.
and people couldn't understand it. Like, bro, we in the worst predicament ever. How you always smiling, and I'm like, shit, what I'm gonna be sad for? You know, college. It College felt like a real scam and waste of time. It was like I just paid all this money for other adults to read to me,
Hmm.
and once you there, you like, damn, I could have, I could have self learned most of this, and then now the
Or learn a
time we
trade.
in, huh?
Or learn a trade.
And now the time we in, people aren't even so much hyper focused on whether you got a degree or not. In my 20s, every job asks for that. Now it's more like, well, what does your resume look like? And, I could have just been building the resume. I went and got this piece of paper that y'all don't give a fuck about. And, and then I watch a lot of younger cats learn this internet thing faster than me and skyrocket past anything a college degree could
Mm,
have ever done for me. These motherfuckers making doctor money now. So, it is what it is. It was definitely um, a learning moment, teachable moment for sure.
man, I got so many jobs by line, but
You know?
coming up, you know what I'm saying, from your roots and your upbringing and then transitioning over to LA, not a lot of people had the cojones to do that, you know what I'm saying, and then to sustain that from the time that you are doing now and doing whatever you have to do and you're doing pretty damn good at, you know what I'm saying, shout out to the stand up and everything, keep going.
For sure.
But can you speak on the move and the misconceptions of moving to the land of bright lights and big dreams?
First and foremost, when you moving anywhere, because I left Arkansas at 14 on my own and moved to Minnesota. So, just going anywhere, you want to have some type of bag behind you, some type of plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, anything that can go wrong tends to fucking go wrong. So you just got to be a stepper at all times. You got to learn how to deal with adversity. You got to know how to pivot. And when you married to certain ideas and you're not flexible at all, you just put yourself in such a
Mm,
unnecessarily difficult predicament where there's there's no way to find a solution because you just see one thing. So
yeah.
I've always been open minded, never wanted to burn any bridges. Every hand I shook, I tried to make sure it was valuable. And for the most part, if they had something to offer, I would likewise try to have something just as valuable to offer, you know. And so it's those relationships that you make along the way. That's gonna make the difference in everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's dive straight into it, man. Just because, like, I love your insight. We're gonna speak on just men, being a man. We're gonna start broad, and then we're gonna actually pinpoint some areas and give more insight on it. But in your words, in your opinion, what does being a man mean in 2026?
uh, so you got personal, and then you got what you want to be seen as far as the world is concerned. So personally, it's all about the man in the mirror. If you wake up and you look in that mirror and you fuck with that reflection, I think you're doing a pretty damn good job, regardless of anybody else's definitions, ideologies, whatever the fuck society is trying to push. Let that shit go. If you fuck with that man in the mirror and you can foresee where you're headed, the direction you're going in, and you like it, I think you're doing pretty damn good. If we want to be like specific about some defining qualities, I would just say be a stand-up guy. Let your word mean something. Um, and I mean, there's not too much more anybody else can ask of you.
Yes,
Outside of it,
sir.
they probably asking for too much.
For sure. What's something society gets wrong about men in 2026?
Uh, well, I mean, there's so much going on, so I would need like a more specific example of what part of society we're talking about because you get this confusion between loud conversations on social media versus what actually has impact on reality and society. So I hear a lot of the conversation about men being too soft, the conversation about men being providers and blah blah blah. Those are like the top conversations. So if you are out here trying to be in a relationship, you probably should be able to stand on your own too and bring something very worthwhile and valuable to the table. As far as a man shouldering every problem that they partner can have, fuck all that. I mean, if you got it like that, if you figured it out, that's dope. That's awesome. That's amazing. But I wouldn't tell anybody to go out into the world and think that they can shoulder the world on their own. That's just some goofy shit.
Yeah. And this is just where I stand, and I'm more of a millennial. You know, what I'm saying I'm not that old. I'm not too young, but as far as just what I see, there was a time in the past where women weren't as empowered. They were, you can say, for most cases, disenfranchised in some areas, but they didn't really know the game. You know what I'm saying? Like it was at one time you had to bring a man a certain amount of cows to get his daughter. You know what I'm saying? She really had no say so. And I'm speaking more so like around the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, when men knew the game and knew tactics and had this formula on how to control and manipulate a woman. And around the 2000s, 2010s, the world pretty much caught on to that, and that way of thinking and living was demonized, and all of them became monsters, and that way of thinking became monsters. But that mantle still became available, and I think around that time, women sneakily took that particular role. Now they're the ones with the formula, with the control, and saying, "Oh, you being this, you doing that, you being that." When like no, like you sound like a man would have sounded 20, 30 years ago. Like what, like when did this shift? And me thinking, I think that shift happened around the 2010s, just for myself. But that's just
I
where I stand.
believe I
So
believe women have always had the power. When you look
mm,
at all the major wars in history, that was
mm,
typically over a woman. You know,
mm,
they say the first business, the oldest business in the world is prostitution.
prostitution.
So
Yeah.
if Coochie created currency, what are we talking about here? Our whole civilization is built off of currency now. We've just found more things that we can trade and barter and turn into monetizable things. But um, I think the idea where women became more vocal, they had platforms to
Mm,
let their personal opinions be seen.
mm,
That's where the misconception comes in that women have changed and they've become harder on men. No,
mm.
I just think before we were able to stifle their voices, but meanwhile behind that door in that bedroom, she was still pulling strings. If that man went to work the next day and shot the job up, it's because his bitch pissed him off. You know what I mean? She's the one telling him he was being soft and being weak and got up under his skin and ruffled his feathers. So women have always had the power in that way.
I guess I'm also speaking amongst like the Archie Bunker days, but yeah, but
So you
even
saying like when a man used to be like shut up and all of that shit?
yeah,
Well, so that's just a matter of who the man is, more
mhm,
more so than how inferior women ever were.
yeah,
So if you were the woman who chose that guy who was running shit and empowered, and he was magnanimous in his approach to his relationship with you, you had that peace of mind to grow and help develop things with and around him, outside of him, all of the above. You ever
as far as
watch
it,
you ever
what's up?
watch Genghis Khan?
I know about Genghis Khan. I know about
Okay,
his
well,
tyranny and his conquest and everything.
so his wife was like really heavy in his ruling and his dealings and his decision making. And
Hmm.
there was one of the concubines. She was like, "Hey, why ain't you gave him no more kids?" And she was like, "That's what he got all you hoes for. I need to stay
Yeah.
on my 10. I got to help my king run this kingdom. I can't be laid up on my back." And so, like, women have always had that ability to be at the forefront. It's just a matter if there was a bigger dude that was willing to use his muscles to shut her up.
Yeah, 100%. And just for the masses, I don't want to make it seem like I have a certain viewpoint. What I'm trying to land, and I want to use a point that you made to kind of help land. It's because it was a great illustration when we said the oldest form of any type of hustle was prostitution. And what I'm speaking on is the like you said, it depends on that particular man. I'm speaking about the mindset and the spirit that wanted to take control of that and manage that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm speaking about the more the pimp era. You know what I'm saying? The ones that control the mindset of something that was already valuable. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is today these women thinking they pimping. That's really what I'm trying to land. And what I'm saying is where I stand this today, I think both are wrong, but I think society, media, and everything is telling women that no, it's our time to pimp. And I think that's where the world fucked up.
So you had the CEO positions. Men were able to keep women out of those rooms for a very long time,
Yeah.
and on the face of it, you're going to see more emotional women bar
Mm-hmm.
themselves from entry into those rooms. But whenever you see a woman who saw the game and saw the field, they knew how to manipulate that arena better than anybody because sex sells. We already acknowledged that, right? So if I'm intelligent and I got beauty, I can go through doors that other men can't even get through.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Kevin Samuels?
Yeah.
He had a story about how he got a big promotion at his job. He
Mm-hmm.
had um, he had sought out this escort that was like really popular. You know, she was so popular that when he got in touch with her and he took her to this this office party or something, his higher ups knew her, and that made them notice him, and that's how he grew in
Yeah.
his occupation, just by being skillful enough to get something around that they gave a fuck about. They didn't give a fuck about his hard work and his time and his hours of dedication. So, you know, we're in a time period where women can be louder. They got platforms now, and
Mm-hmm.
so you hear more of the small minded um, aspects of people who see the other women are able to do this. So they
Mm-hmm.
try to speak like they can do it too. They don't fully understand what's going on. They see it, want to be a part of it, so they speak like they know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see this with men too. You feel me?
Yeah.
You have a lot of men that were never successful with women on these platforms telling men how to get women.
Yeah. What I'm saying and what I think really is bothering me is because I think I see it as like a power pool, like a tug of war of power or control, or just having one up on each other. I think today there's a lot of justification on women being able to stigmatize, demonize, or make negative on a man being human and just not a 100% role of a male. Like we still human at the end of the day. So now they can set little petty traps. You know what I'm saying? To make a man walk on eggshells about being human. You feel me? And
Mhm.
I think that's a huge catalyst for toxicity.
So again, I go back to the internet. You brought up the 60s and 70s, right?
Yeah.
So when I can remember from my childhood specifically, the women to get in a room and they'll call Jerry a no good, low down, whatever, whoop de whoop de whoop. You know, they would get in these circles and
Yeah.
point out the men who are failing in life. So
Mhm.
the only thing different between then and now is if they had this conversation on the internet, it can get shared, it can get heard by everybody. But they was acting like this when I
I
was
can
a
dig it.
kid.
I can dig it.
You
Now I
know,
can
the
feel
the mindset was the same because when a woman goes out into society and let's say she gets a regular job, right? And she gets her a little apartment and she gets her a car, she's not going to have the same difficulties to reach a level of success that a man may have. A man goes outside one time, get pulled over, his whole life changes. That man been in prison the last 10, 12 years
yeah,
just because he got pulled over the wrong day.
yeah.
She can go outside with that femininity
Show some
and
titties.
and thrive in a minimalist way and then talk down on you because you didn't have that ability to, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's all about the fact that these platforms exist now we hear the conversations and we take it out of context to make that mean something bigger than it actually is. But at the end of the day, that's always what it was. That's why what's that that's why your dad would try to sell you off to a king that had his shit together, a farmer who could sacrifice six cattle, and it was always to the man who figured it out. It wasn't that all men figured it out. It wasn't that all men could figure it out. It was the fact that the ones who did, we want to usher our women in that direction. Women never stopped feeling that way. This was
I can,
Marilyn Monroe getting working her way into the White House. Like this has
yeah,
always been the game. It never changed.
I can dig that for sure. For sure. What's something that men get wrong about themselves?
Hmm. Probably that they don't need nobody.
Hmm.
That I can conquer the world on my own shit is definitely the death of most men. There
Well,
ain't
bro,
no corporations out here that exist off of one soul for profit.
I be trying to tell people that, man. Trying to tell people that, but what the fuck you supposed to do when everybody around you don't want to work?
Yeah, I mean, you got to diversify. You know, this is why corporations spend millions a year to like to do team building conferences and shit like that. Like you need other people you can rely on. If it's
Yeah,
all built off of you and your mind and your talents and abilities, that shit has limitations. This is why
yeah,
people hate Drake because he got writers. But every movie that we love has multiple writers. Drake was able to build what he built because he has a team curating this sound that can work for a lot of people, a wide variety of people, versus real niggas, bad bitches. This is something that a collective can join in on and get him to the 50, 60 million that he's worth.
facts. Do you think young men are receiving good guidance today?
Nah, absolutely not.
You scared to expound?
I mean, this shit, we back to social media. So once a lot of the stronger men in society were killed, sent off to prison, what have you, you kind of got left with a lot of young men raising young men in the same position as them. So if nobody had any information to hand down, that's the next downfall of man. Um, One thing that white people have an advantage of us on is that shared information. They're 50, 60 generations in, you know, and they handing that down, handing it down, handing it down. They are compounding information on us. So by the time one of us figure it out and make it, well, that's one generation. And you're up against a group of people who have eons of information
Yeah,
against your one successful generation. So what OGs were able to bring to the streets was at least I can share my 30, 40 years with you. And then with my 30, 40 years of information, the YG that I raised up, who's becoming an OG now, he has my 30, 40 years plus his 30, 40 years, and we go kick it back one more time. So now you three generations in with good game.
yeah,
That's
facts.
been stolen from these youngsters. Now they're shit. This nigga learned some shit yesterday. That nigga learned some shit last week, and we got a month worth of information.
I feel that. What advice would you have given your 18-year-old self?
Oh man, learn about investing. Play the slow stack game. Don't try to figure it all out at one time. You know, um, there there are some things that I could have done around 18, 19, 20 that would have me set for life right now. And I grew up in that fast money household. We was in the hood, but we wasn't poor because they had dope money. So, I grew up with that instant gratification attitude. So I wanted it now. I was always about now. And then when now didn't work, I went to the next thing that was supposed to make it happen now. And so you find yourself in that fight and that struggle your entire life unless, you luck up on the right thing. And unfortunately, I'm still figuring it out in that regard.
No, that's real shit. And yeah, sounds like the same lane or the same direction that I'm currently on or striving to get or aspiring to be. But that's why I fuck with you. Let's speak about relationships. You know what I'm saying? We touched on men. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gotta get their game. You know what I'm saying? We not hard on women. I love women to the depths of my soul. But what's the biggest mistake women make in dating today?
Um, Going after what they like, and I mean that on a surface level. Um, when when women pick the criteria for the man that they want in their life, is based off of a lot of shallow ideas, things that are just purely surface. They don't ask a guy where he's going in life. They don't look at where he's come from. They don't look at what he's built so far, and try and surmise where he's headed. So they'll take on the guy that says the right thing, he has the right look, and 5 years from now, 10 years from now, realize they really don't even know this dude. They just like what they saw. That's why a lot of guys talk shit about the women who talk so much about height and muscles and what else is under there, you know. And that's how a lot of women fuck themselves over, especially in my experience from what I've seen from the world. That's the way it plays out for me.
No, I feel that. I feel that, and it definitely reaches both sides of the spectrum. I'm not speaking just on women, but just in general. Yeah, people don't, like you say, spend time or take the time out to actually learn the individual to see if they like and fit with them. They're just used to having this person or this thing or this capacity next to them and moving in this particular role that they envision in their life, and they just feel they can swap out anybody for that particular position to fit that particular role, and they never actually learn the individual, and they turn out to be with psychopaths. But my
And
thing was, wait,
now
wait,
go ahead. Now go ahead.
no, I was gonna say to that what used to kill me, not kill me, but used to kind of like make me think that was what it was every time, not every time, but it was a few times I was with females. I think what it is low self esteem in this case. Every like when I was with certain type of females and they think is, damn, we would look good together, or damn, we look good together, we look good together, we look good together. Like you not my apex standard. I'm feeling right now. Like, man, we look good together, we look good
Right,
together.
right.
Like I
Yeah,
don't really
I
think,
mean
man.
they'll put all their eggs in one basket when it comes to what feels good. And you could say this applies to men too, but not really because men are open minded. We're out here accumulating women as well and best and as fast as we can, which shows that we're open to you not necessarily being the one. I just met Tasha at the grocery store yesterday, and she seemed like she got potential. Okay, Tasha ain't really on shit. We back in the club, woo woo woo. Like a woman wants to see that guy make her decision and hope for the best. She got in her mind how it's gonna play out, and she's all in. It doesn't really work out that way. Now she's mad at all men. Meanwhile, you turn down 150 niggas who, out of that 150, at least five of them had real qualities that you would have appreciated.
Yeah. I think it's gotten just more desensitized. I think people look at people. I'm gonna keep it at women. I think women look at men now for the most part. It's like these tools to utilize, and the status is like the brand of tool on the higher shelf. You know what I'm saying? So of course, they ain't looking at the bottom shelf. They're looking at the top shelf. And if that shit, and if it breaks or if it don't work, they feel like they should go to the store or go to the club and get a new motherfucking tool. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We're expendable. People are too expendable to people. I think that's the problem. But this ain't me. This ain't about me. In your opinion, what makes a relationship last?
You got to be able to communicate. You got to be objective. You got to be a thinker. Um, I think majority of people are out here trying to date when they're still emotionally immature. You got to
What?
have substance to you in order for y'all to grow and progress and end up somewhere. If you have the mentality, oh, he said the wrong thing to me, fuck this nigga, I ain't woo woo woo, or like just any circumstance where communication isn't y'all go-to key to success, you got a problem, and y'all definitely need plans. Now, if you are a woman out here just like living your life, you're focused on your career, blah blah blah, and you just want to get with a man who's on the same type of time, well, that's cool because what you're substantiating is that you're cool with the ceiling that you've created for yourself. Fair. Now, that man that you come across, he needs to be able to take that and elevate it. Elevate you, elevate himself, and then y'all grow into this power couple together. Or you could be just as aspirational as him, but you know how to compromise. And now y'all can build and grow together based off of y'all's plans.
You
But
said a cuss word. You motherfuckers don't want to compromise shit.
you know,
What in your opinion, is love enough to sustain a relationship?
nah.
Mm.
Um, Intelligence and understanding is going to be way more important than love. The reason why people bring up old school relationships so much, they don't realize Big Mama never loved Pop Pop. He just was on his shit. He was gonna hold it down, and she was able to grow to love him throughout time.
His stank ass.
You know what I'm saying? He had that respect built up because he going to punch that clock. He put dick down when he needs to. Like, that respect was there. That respect came before the love. So love is cool and all, but that's temporary if you don't build it around some great qualities.
I did that. What does loyalty mean to you?
Sticking to the agreement. Whatever we signed up for, your ability to live up to that agreement every day, day in, day out, when it's hard, when it's easy, when it's fun, when it's not, that's what loyalty is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And still just giving the people more avenues and more ways to learn more about yourself. We're gonna speak about your polyamorous lifestyle, if you don't mind.
Come on.
How would you define polyamory for the people?
Well, simply as the word goes, it's multiple loves. So the beauty about polyamory is you're supposed to tailor your situation to you and your partners. It's not about how I do it. It's not about how the next man does it. It's about what works for you and the people that you're involved with. So my whole thing always was I like things to be easy. I don't want you to have to learn how to love me. I don't want you to feel trapped, controlled. I want you to still be able to pursue things that you're interested in, that you're intrigued by, curious by, your goals and aspirations. They can still be at the forefront of everything that we're doing. I don't want to take anything away from you. My philosophy was always simple. Um, this life is a journey. At the end of our journey, I want you to be able to look back on it and say, I enjoyed my journey. I don't want you to look back with regrets and spite and resentment, you know. So it's that simple for me.
Yes, sir. What are the biggest misconceptions that people tend to have about just that whole subject?
That a man is just trying to figure out how to fuck multiple women.
Hmm.
A lot of
Fact.
people are incapable of conceiving the idea that a man has the ability to truly and genuinely love more than one person at one time.
Mm.
That's
Well,
a hard concept for so many people.
yeah, that was one. That was another one of the questions I was going to ask you. Is it truly possible to love multiple people at one time?
Man, shit, it's always been easy for me. I've kind of been wired that way though. Like,
Mm.
I was the guy coming up where I would bring women around, and a lot of guys in my crew had their first experience with sex with a woman that I had met that I was really locked in with. Shit, I take them in the room and I go out in the kitchen, make me a sandwich. Y'all do what y'all do. Like I've just never been jealous or emotional in that way, and so I don't know if it's just something like weird with me or wrong with me, but I'm shit. That's just how my mind works. Like I want the people around me to enjoy themselves, so
Yeah.
I've always facilitated that environment.
Yeah, I wouldn't say weird or wrong. I say rare. You know what I'm saying? What rules are necessary for it to work?
Shit, honesty. God damn it. If you can't tell the truth, if you are ashamed of who you are and your true interest, your true self, we're bound to self-destruct for sure.
In your opinion, is maintaining a polyamorous relationship more difficult than maintaining a monogamous one?
Absolutely not. Monogamy comes with I damn near feel like you have to lie or withhold certain aspects of yourself to be monogamous. Monogamy doesn't leave the door open for a person to be their genuine self. You get off of work, you got a coworker that's cool, and she want to catch a drink with you. Now you got to lie to the wife. Oh shit, I got caught in traffic. You worried about her putting your shit out on the street because you wanted to have a little drink after work. Um, it's it's too stiff. You know what I mean? You need that flexibility for for things to be stable and consistent and long lasting.
Okay. That's a great segue because I was gonna ask. I'm asking, do you think most people are built for monogamy, or do you think most people are naturally poly?
So from your animalistic core, you're definitely a polyamorous creature. Um, Out of all of the species on the planet, I think less than 3% of them are genuinely monogamous, right?
Yeah.
All of the creatures, right? Like and we are still animals to our core. So for me, monogamy is for people that they are in touch with their desires, their intentions, and they probably don't feel like they got time for more people. They probably feel like they're married to their craft or their career, or I think monogamy is for a very specific type of individual, and
Mhm.
it just makes sense for you. Like me personally, I feel like if I had a multi-million-dollar corporation or something I was running, I probably wouldn't have time to date multiple women. Like I gotta these stocks, and I'm trading my company, and I gotta be in Japan, and I gotta be like I really don't have the bandwidth to deal with all of this. So I think it's a lot about what your goals are and where you see yourself headed in life.
Mm. What's one piece of dating advice that people constantly give you that you disagree with?
Um, Find one woman and settle down.
Oh, yeah, we stick to that.
So the way they usually word it is, you feel that way because you haven't truly found the one yet.
Mm.
Now, what the fuck that means to them, I don't know. I mean, it to me it just sounds like they're pushing their own personal mentality off onto me, and they want to see what they want for themselves for me, which, you keep that shit to yourself. I'm okay with what I'm doing.
So, what's a lesson that men need to hear but don't want to hear?
Man, don't lie to that girl to get her. If you still intrigued by different women out here in these streets, you got wandering eyes and shit. Don't tell that woman she's the only woman for you, and you know good and damn well you will strike a new one if you had the opportunity. You just go put yourself in trouble. I
Yeah.
do not understand when Lil Baby is arguing with this woman about another woman. I don't understand when Kevin Hart is arguing with his wife or ex-wife. And like, man, y'all done made it in life. The best thing you could do for yourself is tell these women what you want. And then you can actually have the relationship that you want in life. Like, that shit silly as hell to me.
Hmm. What's a lesson that women need to hear, but they don't want to hear?
If you want a man that's already got his shit together, you better be prepared for what comes with that. Cause most of them ain't got that mentality to where they're trying to negotiate with you about what they doing. I done made it to millions. I done became a billionaire. I got all these options. I'm not finna argue and bicker with you.
Hmm.
And that too,
Facts.
that's a separate conversation.
Yeah.
Just knowing how to be smooth. Everything doesn't have to be up in arms. We don't have to be battling all the damn time. I'm real, real, real serious and big on that. I don't give a fuck what's going on. Talk to me right. Talk to me right, or you can get left.
Facts. Facts. We almost finished, man. If you have a little bit more time, I do it just a quick
Holler
little
at me.
speed, quick fire round, and then we're gonna get into actual, podcasting and content creation. Quick fire round. Love or respect?
Respect.
Peace or passion?
I don't know the context. I'm gonna say peace.
Let's stick to relationships.
Okay. Oh, relationship, peace or passion, peace.
Okay, yes, sir. Marriage or a lifelong partner slash friend?
Uh, Lifelong partner.
Truth or comfort?
Truth.
Chemistry or compatibility?
Mm. I'm gonna say chemistry.
Leader or teacher?
Shit, you want to be both, but is this for me or for her?
For you.
Oh, leader.
All right. City life or country life?
City.
Money or freedom?
Freedom.
Mm. Fame or influence?
Influence.
Legacy or success?
Legacy.
I can dig that. I can dig that. I appreciate that. For one, shout out to you again. Shout out to Marcus, man. Shout out to Mainstream. For the people, like I say, that has been living under a rock, man, I do want to give y'all flowers and y'all respect and y'all segment, man. How did Mainstream come together?
So he was already in motion when I got to LA. I think he was probably close to a year in with episodes. And it was just him and moms. And one night he invited me on the couch, and he liked the response that we got with our back and forths and whatever. And he chose to keep me on. So
What's the biggest lesson you've learned so far in doing podcasting?
um, you can't allow your craft or what you're building, doing, the entertainment to invade your peace, your mental sanctity. You need to keep that peace for yourself. You need the type of thick skin to where you're not wearing your image on your shoulders. You're not so affected by everything that's being said about you online. Everybody can buy a keyboard right now.
Thanks.
Smart people, idiots, and all, and you got to be able to see what they say, laugh about it, or scroll on, or whatever.
That's well. My mama be like, you see what they be saying on TikTok? I don't read them shits, mama.
Bruh.
Has podcasting changed how you view people, or has it, or you? Well, that could be the question. Has it changed how you view people, or has it exposed new things about people that you haven't seen before?
I'm gonna say no. I've always been pretty aware. With my lifestyle, I've dealt with so many different personalities, and I've hosted these adult parties for years, and you have to be really good at reading people very quickly at that. You know, so I've kind of always understood the demon inside of people, and most people will want to be good by nature, but it's more opportunistic. When you leave the door open for somebody to do some fuck shit, well, now you kind of have to be aware that that door was left open, and they may not have done it if that door was closed. But since you left it open, you kind of opened yourself up to it. And social media, podcasting, it's only shown me more of that.
Okay. So it shows you more of the accountability that you would take in your relationships, in your relations to anyone you interact with, or any situation you tend to get into. I can
For
dig that.
sure.
I can
Yeah,
dig that.
the one thing that's very important is I always said never give more of yourself than you can afford to give. So if a
Mm.
motherfucker asks you for $2 and you gonna be fucked up if they don't get that $2 back, they can't have it. I don't give
What?
a fuck if it's mama, it's
Oh
grandma,
God.
whatever. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
me.
Now, if they give them $2 and you can write it off, you like, I'd like to get it back, but if I
Mm.
don't, I'd be okay. Then you can get that $2.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's non-negotiable. Never give more of yourself than you can afford to give,
And
and you
don't
will live
feel
a
bad about
peaceful
it.
life. And don't feel bad about it. You will have a very peaceful life.
Let's speak about your. Well, I'm seeing your. I would say new lane of content creation, man. I see you dropping a lot of historic videos and insightful videos. And what was the inspiration behind that? Because that's the type of shit I dig. I love learning about things.
So I've always been curious in that way. History was always my favorite subject in school. It was the only thing I really just paid attention to. And while I was doing my research one day, I'm like, what if I shared this? You know, and so one thing about me is I like to be as objective as possible. A lot of people don't like that. They be wanting me to pick sides and shit like that, and I'm like, I really don't have a side. My side is me. I
Like
choose
I
me.
can see both sides.
You know what I'm saying? I can see it from all angles. And even though I wouldn't do it that way, I understand why they did it that way. But so, I was doing my research one day and I was like, man, I should share this. And so she queued up the camera and chopped it up and put it out there. And that was like one of my first videos where I started getting paid on Facebook. Because I used to get paid on TikTok like 2, 3 years ago. Then they changed the algorithm and fucked up my monetization. So I was making like $800 or something a month. And then because I was doing the short form videos, the little 7-second snippets, I was making like 800 bucks a month out of it. Then they switched to long form, and so it fucked my whole platform up. I stopped getting paid over there. So since then, I just kept trying to do social media, and I'm like, all right, I ain't getting paid no more, so I don't give a fuck what I post. Just post something. And so that wasn't really doing nothing. Then I would post the poly content. That does crazy numbers every time I post that. But it's like, I don't want to keep trying to find new bitches to post with. So I was like, I really can't be as consistent with that. So that's not the specific lane. I'll do it when I can, but I don't
Yeah.
want to have to do it. So
Facts.
when I started posting the current events, historical stuff. Then I saw Facebook gave me the opportunity to get paid off of it. I was like, you know what? I can do this every day. So that's how that came about.
But just speaking in just a broader, I guess, tense or sense. In your opinion, what's the importance of people having a sense of some sort of history? Because I have my theory.
It's everything, man. You don't. How will you know if you're going down the wrong road, if you didn't know that's been done before? Me and my brother, who I've done a lot of trapping with, The main thing he say whenever we trying something new is we go do what's tried and true, and though that little expression is everything. If it's tried and true, it works. Like tonight, when I go on stage, I'm gonna do some material that's tried and true. I ain't been on stage since I was in LA, so tonight we doing tried and true. I ain't working on nothing new tonight, and that does so much for you when you have some history. You kind of know some do's and don'ts. You don't want to be out here trying to figure it out every single time you step outside.
100%. But I think it's very important because I think it's important for everyone to have some sense of history or to know the history because the people that do know the history very, very well, they want to lock that information just so history can try to repeat itself. And I feel like people are being conditioned to not give a fuck about what happened just yesterday when that
Hmm.
shit still matters. You know what I'm saying? It's very important and still relevant today. But like I said, on the way out, man, we ain't got too much long. I do appreciate your time here. I don't want to take too much of your time.
Absolutely.
What I want to ask, like I say, if it's not, what I'm saying, out of bounds, I would like to ask, what is the probability of that 5150 reunion? Because I'm all about coming together, bro. Like, where's the probability on that? Because I love everybody. I love everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tuesday, Wednesday, you know what I'm saying? So I got to break time out of my day just to fuck with y'all, and I want to see the connection again. I want to see you, you know what I'm saying? Marcus, Corey, hell, I want Zoe to come back. Hell, I want Craig to come back. Like I love that.
Craig ain't been there lately.
Not as of late. Not for like the
Okay, I
past
ain't know that.
month or two. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing negative. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
He just on
Everybody
his
wants.
own thing.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to do their own thing, but yeah, bro. Like, what's the probability of a reunion?
Cuzzo is a very strong-willed person. You know, um, and with everything that he stands for, he feels like the things that were most valuable to him got trampled on.
Mm.
So he's not so hard-headed that he wouldn't be open to a conversation, but it's going to have to be obviously genuine and specific boundaries set in place. So the likelihood, the probability of Corey bridging that gap, I don't really see it. But that's why I did my best to remain neutral throughout all of it, is because he really respected bro, and I didn't want to choose sides, and then that door opens up for them to fix things, and now it's like, oh shit, I done stole on the nigga, and now y'all finna be cool again. Now I'm the odd man out, So it's like I just kind of tried to, you my cousin, I love you, but I don't think it's that serious. But for him, it is that serious. So it's like, um, it's possible, but I think it would have to start with Corey, and from what I know about Corey ain't gonna do it.
Nah, I don't necessarily disagree with anything that you say. You know what I'm saying? Ideally, I would love for that to be different because what I said at the beginning. But yeah, man, uh, I'm not a fan of disrespect in any parts, and definitely as black men in entertainment creation and just knowing and fucking with each other. You know what I'm saying? We should want the best for each other if we all see each other working. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That,
absolutely.
yeah, that's where I stand with it. But I appreciate
So
you. Something.
I'll say this before we go. The biggest thing that they got on us on the other side of the street, like my old school homie, he called him Mr. Gilmore. What Mr. Gilmore got on us over there is they decided to unite at one point in time. Italians, Irish, whatever. If you had pale skin like them, they decided to give each other one name. We white, and that umbrella allowed them to conquer hella shit on this continent, right? And that's the piece that's missing for us. If we figure that piece out, man, we fucking unstoppable, you know. But those egos have to go to the side. You know, I'll give you the example of Harlem Nights. I was watching it again the
Shit.
other night, and I'm like, man, it's probably gonna be so long before we get a star-studded cast like this again. The greatest comedians of one time, all in one film, all of them doing their thing in that motherfucker too. Everybody was dope. Everybody was great.
Why you say that? Why you say we won't see that again? It's like it's too much turmoil, like amongst comedians.
Well, just with the culture in general, but you can make it as specific as saying comedians right now because that's the subject I chose.
Mm.
When you look at the atmosphere, this person is too big to come down and make the same money as somebody he feel like he bigger than, and you know what I mean. So the best version of that we got is when Cube does Friday. He does all about that's the best version of that we get, and it should be so much bigger than that. We need that Chris Tucker, Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? We need Kevin Hart, Mike Epps. Why that movie ain't happened yet? The fuck is y'all talking about? All of us alive at the same time, and
Yeah.
y'all in decent health, good health, and height of your career, on the decline of your career, and nigga, where's that movie at?
Now, what I
And
would say, I don't want to cut you off. I
now
don't
go
know.
ahead.
What I would say is for that opportunity, for them and for us, whomever is presenting this script and is writing, the writing team has to be on point because
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart just came out with like a new buddy comedy, and Mike Epps is in it, but it ain't no Harlem Nights. You
Yeah,
feel me?
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I want to
And
see
you
something
talking about the
like that.
little Netflix joint with the young comedians? Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
Kev, Big Bro, and them. No,
Yeah,
this is not him coming to the table with people who are on his level, bigger or right underneath him. This is let me bring the little bros up, you know,
facts.
and so he gets to have the center stage. You
Mhm.
know, Eddie Murphy was the main character in Harlem Nights, but shit, damn near what's light skin name
Which one?
that was older than Eddie in the movie,
Oh, Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor. But you know, Richard Pryor was damn near a main character too. Maybe he was. I don't even really know. It's like, but
It was too many, man. Yeah, it was too many
they were able to
protagonists.
all coexist
Yeah,
in this film to shine together. And I don't I don't see our culture having the business sense and the humility to do that right now.
yeah. But speaking about Kevin Hart, I do think that's a genius tactic and strategy that he is doing with, like you say, little bro and people, but staying relevant into pockets and younger pockets or levels below him, just so he can, in other words, remain timeless or stay timeless or relevant as he
Mm-hmm.
ages and funnels out like other people tend to just filter out without reinventing themselves to stay relevant. So I
Yeah.
see that a lot. I see that a lot. What I don't like is it actually coming to the price of you being really, really funny. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Just slapstick is cool, you know what I'm saying? Just to be in a film with him, just so the audience can see a motherfucker. I wanna, you know what I'm saying, I wanna see you. And that's not it's not to him, it's just speaking in general. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who am
Right.
I?
right. Right. Now I
But
feel it though.
yeah, what's up?
I mean, and that's easy to get away with, you know, when you're the name on the card, you're the name on the marquee. You know, nobody has a problem with you coming up under me. Nobody ever argues that. It's
Yeah.
when you put them together. Put my name on the marquee next to yours. Oh no, I ain't doing that. Yeah. Oh no, hell no.
You can be in the credits now.
You know what I'm saying? Ah, shit. I got 5 minutes for you up top. You know.
Nah. But nah, that's a real shit, man. Like I said, this is a blessing. This is a blessing. I hope we can continue one day, have a part two,
Yeah,
you know, have
yeah,
added.
shit. Whenever you want to have me back, bro, shit. You know, I have fun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I aim to do. I aim for my guests, you know what I'm saying, to actually enjoy themselves and not be like, man, when it's over with. But
Yeah,
now
for sure. Yeah,
we
the
have
time
concluded the
flew by.
interaction.
Shit, I don't even know when we started.
You feel me? That's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? The place is here, the time is now. You got your boy Savo in the building, free game. Chad also checking out. This is the lunch table.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
that.
All right, be smooth.